Yes, guys, yes, people, welcome back to Eli Talks Football and welcome to another episode of Premier League predictions. I hope you guys are doing all right. Before I start the show, I would just like to let everybody know a huge announcement that today's my birthday. Yes, today is my birthday. Today is October 25th. That's the day that I was born. So I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I was born on the 25th of October. So yes, today's my birthday. So I would just like to give God thanks for adding another year to my life. And also, I'm just glad to be alive on earth yet again. So yeah, man, another year. And let's hope that I'll be still alive next year when I'm turning, in 2025, October 25th. So yeah, man. So listen, I'm happy to be on earth. I'm happy to see another year. And I pray that as you celebrate your birthday, you'll see many more years to come. You will not die but live. And also, you will see wherever age you'll be, you'll see many more. You'll see 40, 50, 60, 70, many more years to come, and that's my prayer to you. And that's what our family has also prayed to me earlier today. So, yeah, receive yours in Jesus' name. Amen. So, happy days for me. So today's a special day. There's a Premier League game on my birthday later on today. And also, the Lionesses are playing against Germany for the friendly. So, really exciting day. So, looking forward to it. So, obviously, I'm going to be watching the Premier League and also the Lionesses because they're at home against Germany. It's going to be a tough game. But let's hope that the Lionesses can win on my birthday today. So there we go. So happy days for me. So I'm looking forward to that game. Really are. And then we've got the Premier League game later on tonight, which is the East Midlands Derby. Leicester versus Nottingham Forest. So that should be a really good game. Like Leicester, back-to-back wins. Forest, though, got a win against Crystal Palace and got a decent draw against Chelsea. So these two teams are really good form. So I'm so looking forward to that game later on today. So there we go. So guys, before I talk about the rest of the games, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you can, click the like button, if you enjoyed this video, and also the fact that today is my birthday. If you can send me your birthday message in the comments down below, then that would be great. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit the bell notification as well, and make sure you click the share button so that you guys can give your predictions as well in the comments down below. So, without further ado, let's go. So, the first game, like I mentioned, is the East Midlands Derby between Leicester City and Nottingham Forest. The game will be kicking off at 8 o'clock. Now, the weird thing is that Leicester City beat Southampton 9-0 on my birthday 5 years ago. And Leicester City are playing on my birthday again. So, this is weird. Like, if I was a Leicester fan, I would be like, boy, Leicester playing on my birthday again on a Friday night? Like, that would be great. But unfortunately, I'm not a Leicester fan, I'm a Chelsea fan. But, Leicester won on my birthday. Can he do the same thing today in the East Midlands Derby? We'll go out to wait and see. But yes, both teams are really good form. Like I said, Leicester won 2 wins in a row. Nottingham Forest are also drawn against Chelsea and also beaten Crystal Palace. So there we go. So let me give you the stats for this one. So here we go. Leicester have won their last 2 Premier League home games against Nottingham Forest, December 1998 and October 2022, having won neither of their first 2 in the competition, drawing 1 and losing 1. Nottingham Forest won 2-0 against Leicester in their last league meeting, January 2023, last winning consecutive games against the Foxes in March 2005 or December 2009. There have been at least 4 goals scored in all Leicester's 4 Premier League home games against Forest. A 4-2 win in March 1995, a 2-2 draw in December 1996, 3-1 and a 4-0 wins for Leicester in December 1998 and October 2022, respectively. Boy, lots of goals in this one. After winning none of their 6 Premier League games this season, drawing 3 and losing 3, Leicester have since won both their last 2. Like I said, they've won at home against Bournemouth and they made the greatest comeback when away to Southampton obeyed them 3-2. The Foxes last won 3 consecutive matches in the competition in January 2021 under Brendan Rodgers, who unfortunately they sacked, and he's now the manager of the Celtic in the Scottish. And lastly, Nottingham Forest are unbeaten in the last 6 away games in the Premier League, winning 4 and drawing 2, their longest one without an away defeat in the top flight since February to October 1995, which is 12 games. Forest have averaged 1.6 points away per match in the Premier League under Nuno, after averaging 0.6 under the previous manager, Steve Cooper. So, you can see that Steve Cooper will be facing his former club, Nottingham Forest, and he'll be looking for the win. Whereas for Nuno, he's having a great points away match, which is, better points away match than Steve Cooper. So, listen, man, I'm looking forward to this game, I mean, boy, whenever Leicester win, they usually score like 3 or 4 goals in this one. But listen, I feel like this game, this might be a draw. I see this being like a Desmond 2-2 because, like I said, I think Leicester have won 2 games in a row. For Nottingham Forest, though, they've only lost 1 game, and both teams are on great form. So, looking at the table, it's basically 8th against 14th. And that 2 wins for Leicester City done the good job, because if they didn't, they'll be in the relegation zone. So, looking at this year, if Leicester City win on my birthday like they did 5 years ago, they'll be 1 point by Nottingham Forest because they're on 13 points. So, listen, if Leicester City can keep on winning games, then I don't see them getting relegated, because I didn't predict Leicester to get relegated, by the way. I really didn't. Or maybe I did, but But listen, those last 2 wins was really good. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Leicester City are unbeaten at home. Let me just have a look at their games. Let me just have a look. So, I'm guessing Leicester City are unbeaten away, at home. Let me see. So, yeah, Leicester's last home games was 1-0 win against Bournemouth, a draw against Everton. Actually, no, they've only lost 1 home game this season, and the same goes for Nottingham Forest, and that loss was against Villa. So yeah, Leicester City have only lost 1 home game this season, and the same goes for Forest, which was against Fulham. So you can see both teams here have only lost 1 game at home. So this is why I think this game, I'm seeing this being the draw, like a 2-2 draw, because let's see how Leicester City can cope against a low block. Let's just see, because both Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest had created so many chances, but Chris Wood scored that important goal, and they're in 8th place, and they're not far from Europe as well. So listen, the only reason why I want this game to be a draw, because if Chelsea lose against Newcastle, and if Nottingham Forest beat Leicester City, both Newcastle and Forest will be above Chelsea, which I definitely don't want that to happen. So I'm hoping that this game ends in a draw, because I don't want Nottingham Forest and Newcastle to be above us, because we've been starting really so well. But the fact that if Chelsea didn't drop points against Forest and Crystal Palace, we would have been in 3rd place, and I don't see any teams, Newcastle and Forest, being above us. So this one, I'm hoping that this game will end in a draw. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw on this one. And it's basically Jamie Vardy versus Chris Wood, So that's why I'm also looking forward to this game. So yeah, the goal scorers, I'm going to go for Callum Hudson-Odoi and Chris Wood to score. For Leicester City, I'm going to go for Jamie Vardy and Kelechi Iheanacho to score. So those are going to be the goal scorers. And I think Forest will be 2-0 up, but then Leicester City will find some way to get back into this game and end in a draw. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. So that is the first game, which is happening later today on my birthday. So there we go. So hopefully I get to see an entertaining game on my birthday. So there we go. If Leicester do win, then I'll be happy. But it's because I don't want Forest to win, because they'll be above us in the table. They really would be. So there we go. Right, the next one, and interesting enough, there is no earlier kickoff. Now I'm not sure why though, but there's no earlier kickoff, so we're gonna move straight on into 2 p.m. kickoffs. The next one, is Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Of course, Aston Villa, like I said yesterday, have been doing. Yeah, I've been on Wednesday. Are doing really well in the Champions League. Them and Liverpool are the only 2 teams that have won every single game. But the reason why Aston Villa are on top is because they do still have a concede. Liverpool have only conceded 1, and that was against AC Milan, and that's basically it. But Villa, man, I had doubts about them finishing the top 4, but you know what? They could prove me wrong. They really could, because they've only lost 1 game in all competition, and that was at home against Arsenal. Like, if only Watkins would have scored that chance, that could have been a different game, and Aston Villa would be unbeaten in every competition. So, listen, man. Whereas for Bournemouth, last weekend they stunned Arsenal by beating them 2-0. You know, I say before the red card, I still think Arsenal weren't that great, but after that, they were absolutely worse. So there we go. But listen, this game is at Villa Park. If this game was at Vitality Stadium, then yeah, I would have maybe gone for Bournemouth win. But this game is at Villa Park, so it's going to be a tough game for Bournemouth. So let me read out these stats. Having lost their last 2 Premier League home games against Bournemouth in 2016 and 2019, Aston Villa have won the last 2 by an aggregate score of 6-1. So there we go. And I feel like it was 3-1 to Villa, then it was 3-0 before that. So there we go. Bournemouth have won 50% of their last 8 Premier League games against Aston Villa, winning 4, drawing 1 and losing 3. Of those they faced as many times against no side, they've done higher win rate in the competition. Aston Villa have picked up 17 points in 8 Premier League games this season. Just the 3rd time they've had that many points at this stage. Also doing so in 1996, 17th and finished 4th, and 1999, 20th and finished 6th. You know, so there you go. Bournemouth have lost 6 of the last 9 Premier League away games. You know, only winning twice and drawing once. Losing their last 3 without scoring since their late 3-2 comeback victory against Everton at the end of August. So there we go. And lastly, only Man City 13 have won more points from losing position in the Premier League this season than Aston Villa, who have won 3 games despite conceding first so far this campaign. So there you go. So you can see that some stats working. I think more stats work in Villa's favour than it does Bournemouth. Now the question is though, since Villa won their game against Bologna, would this affect them in the Premier League? You know, but this game is on a Saturday, so you can see they're not playing the Thursday, Sunday. But you know, Bournemouth had 1 game a week. Villa played on a Wednesday, so you know, for this one, I'm really hoping that this game. Let's see what happens if Bournemouth win. Let me just have a look. Sorry guys, what is happening? Let me just see. If Bournemouth win, they'll be in the same position as us, but because of the goal difference, that's why. So there we go. But listen, I'm really hoping that this game ends in a draw, because I want both Brighton and Aston Villa to drop points, and if Chelsea beat Newcastle, we'll be back in the top 4. So there we go. But unfortunately, Una M's doing a really good job. They're unbeaten at home. It's only Arsenal that beat them in all competitions. So listen, going into this game, I see Villa winning this game, unfortunately, but hopefully Bournemouth can do Chelsea a favour and get a draw at least, or maybe a draw or a loss, because because in order for Chelsea to finish in the Champions League, we need to make sure that we keep on winning games and making sure that other teams drop points. So there we go. But for me, I don't see Aston Villa losing this game, so I'm just going to go for the usual 3-1 because I think Bournemouth will win, but I think Aston Villa will get the job done. So there we go. The goal scorers, I'm going to go for Odiwuka to score twice, Joanne to score. For Bournemouth, I'm going to go for Josh Billing to score a penalty. So I think Bournemouth might be I think Bournemouth are going to go 1-0 up, but then Villa will just make a comeback and win this game comfortably. So yeah, I'm going to go for Villa win of 3-1 in that one. But hopefully Bournemouth can do Chelsea in favour and make Aston Villa drop points on this one. So there we go. So 3-1 to Bournemouth to Villa is going to be my prediction. Right. The next one is Brighton versus Ipswich Town. Have I said it right? Yeah, sorry. Wrong one. Brentford versus Ipswich Town, of course. I believe Brentford lost their last game, I think. Yeah, they've lost 2-1 against Manchester United, so there we go. But here's some stats. Brentford have lost just one of the 9 games against Ipswich, winning 4 and drawing 4, with the first meeting being between the sides since that 2-0 home win for the Bees in April 2019. Ipswich have lost their last 3 league away games against Brentford without scoring a single goal, while they've only won 1 of their 7 such faces in the league history since that 4-2 win in December 2014. This is the first ever top flight meeting between Brentford and Ipswich Town. It will be the 1,452nd fixture to be played in English top flight and their 937 in the Premier League. Boy, that is a lot, Only Wolves Premier League games have seen more goals, 33, than Brentford this season, 14 scored and 50 conceded, while no stadium has scored more goals than the G2 Community Stadium, which is 17. That is brilliant. And finally, Ipswich Town were made winners in the Premier League this season. In the last 2 Premier League campaigns, they've enjoyed a longer winning stance, both in the Championship and in 2010 and in 2019-11. So there we go. So you can see that this stat really does work in Brentford's favour. Now the only problem is that the only time where Brentford have taken a lead and won the game was against Wolves. Their last game was against Man United. They took the lead but ended up botting it. But listen, they're facing the Ipswich Town, which still are looking for their first win in the Premier League this season. And also, Ipswich Town last away game was against West Ham, and they got absolutely destroyed in that one. So there we go. So listen, I cannot see this game, then the Brentford win, unfortunately. So yeah, for this game, I'm gonna go for Brentford win of 2-0. That's gonna be my prediction. I'm gonna go for Brentford 2-0 win because I don't see another game where Ipswich Town score like they did against Everton. So there we go. See, I'm just going to go for 2-0 Brentford to win. The goal scorers in Bremnu and Wissa to score for Brentford. So do I see Brentford scoring early like they did last game? I don't think so. But I definitely see them winning this game and keeping a clean sheet. But let's hope that Ipswich Town do get their first win. But I don't think it's going to be against Brentford because going to the G2 Community Stadium ain't going to be that easy. It really ain't. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Brentford to win on that one. Right, the next one is Brighton versus Wolves. Of course, Brighton got that huge win away from home against Newcastle, whereas for Wolves still only 1 point out of 24, which is not good enough. So there we go. So here's some stats for this one. Having won just one of their first 7 Premier League games with Wolves, Brighton have now won 4 of their last 5 against them, and they've only drawn once. Wolves have just won 3 of the last 20 Premier League games against Brighton, drawing 8 and losing 9, with all 3 victories coming a 1-0 scoreline: September 2004, January 2016, and December 2021. Brighton are looking to win 3 consecutive Premier League games for the first time since September 2023, which was last season. under Robert De Zerbi, while the Seagulls are also looking to win 2 in a row without conceding the competition for the first time since April May 2023, one which was against Wolves. Wolves have just picked up 1 point in the last 11 Premier League games, losing more games and conceding more goals than any other side in that time. As you can see, if you're a Wolves fan, that's not good. And lastly, in their first 4 Premier League games, Brighton average point tally after 8 matches was 7.8. Since 2021/2022, they are averaging exactly 50 points at this stage, winning 15 this season, winning 4, drawing 3, and losing 1. So as you can see, as a Wolves fan, that really does work in your favor. So listen, man, when it comes to Wolves, I mean, I don't know what happened, because last season they're doing really well under Gary O'Neill, but this season, no draws, 1 draw and 7 losses. Boy, it ain't good enough, man. It ain't good enough. So going into this game is at the Emirates Stadium. Their home win was against Tottenham and they beat them 3-2. So yeah, going to this game, I see Brighton winning this game 3-1, because I don't know where Wolves are going to get their win from. And if Wolves continue yet to not win games, then I think Gary O'Neill is under some serious pressure. And he could be the first manager sacked, or it could be Crystal Palace, or could it be Southampton manager, whoever it is. But Wolves are rock bottom. They have a worse goal difference than Southampton. They really do. So I think Gary O'Neill could be the first manager sacked. So there we go. But listen, I don't know where the Wolves are going to get from, but I don't think they're going to beat Brighton at all. I really don't think so. So yeah, I'm just going to go 3-1 to Brighton. Because that away win against Newcastle, that was really good. So there we go. The goal scorers, I'm going to go for Danny Welbeck to score, Matoma, and also Ivan Ferguson. For Wolves goal scorer, I'm going to go for Cunha. That's basically it. So yeah, 3-1 Brighton. So Wolves fans, if I was you, you have to be thinking to yourself, where are you going to get those win? Where is your next win coming from? So yeah, I'm just going to go 3-1 to Brighton for this one. So sorry Wolves fans, but that's just my honest opinion. I've got to be honest on that one. So there we go. But yeah, 3-1 Brighton is going to be my prediction. Then we move on into Manchester City versus Southampton. Of course, Southampton are looking for their first win, but for Man City, they still remain unbeaten after that, last minute winner by John Stones, who done it again against Arsenal when they drew 2-2 at the Etihad. So there we go. So here's the stat. Since losing 3 consecutive Premier League home games against Southampton between 2001 and 2004, Man City are unbeaten their last 12 against them at the Etihad Stadium, winning 10 and drawing 2. Southampton have won just one of their last 40 Premier League meetings with Man City, drawing 3 and losing 10, picking up that 1-0 win in July 2020. Of course, that was during COVID that time, which was 4 years ago. Man City are on their longest ever unbeaten League One, going 31 Premier League games without defeat since losing as a Villa last December, and ever since that time, they've won 25 and drawn 6. They've fallen behind 12 times in that one and come back to win 10 of those games and drawing 2. And of course, those ones was against Liverpool, and I believe it was against Arsenal, something like that. Southampton have lost 7 of their 8 Premier League games this season. Like I said, the only draw was against Ipswich Town, in September. It's just the second time the Saints have ever failed to win their opening 8 matches of the Premier League campaign after 1999, a year before I was born, which was their first 9. And lastly, Man City have gained 30 points from losing the positions in the Premier League this season, more than any other side. Indeed, it is the most points a team has earned from losing positions in the opening 8 matches of the Premier League season ever. So you can see that these stats really do work in Man City's favour. So listen, all I can say is that Man City, I think the last clean sheet I don't think Man City kept a clean sheet this season. let me have a look. But because Man City do tend to concede so many goals, so let me just have a look. The last time that Man City kept a clean sheet in the Premier League, let me just see. Let me just go back. And look at that. Man City have only kept a clean sheet against Chelsea, but that was their opening day of the season. Ever since then, they conceded one against Ipswich Town, one against West Ham, one against Brentford, two against Arsenal, one against Newcastle, two against Fulham, and one against Wolves. So that clean sheet was the opening day of the season. So you can just imagine that was a very long time ago. That was the opening day of the season. So listen, I think Man City will concede this time, but I feel like they're gonna destroy Southampton. They really are. So for this game on Saturday, it's at the Etihad. So I'm gonna go for a 4-1 Manchester City win. Erling Haaland has goal threat has come to an end, but that's in the Champions League. The last two he hasn't been scoring. So, but I believe he will score because Southampton defense is just absolutely shocking. I believe he'll score a brace in that game tomorrow. So there we go. So yeah, Man City win 4-1. Southampton goal scorer. I don't know who, but Erling Haaland to score a brace. Jeremy Doku to score, and also Phil Foden to score as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Manchester City 4-1 win against the Saints on that one at the Etihad. And then we move on into Everton versus Fulham. Of course, Everton are unbeaten in the last three because they beat Crystal Palace, they drew against Newcastle, and they beat Ipswich Town away by 2-0. Whereas for Fulham, their last game was against Aston Villa. Both teams went down to 10 men, but Fulham have lost at home by 3-1. So there we go. So let me just give out the stats for that one. So Everton were unbeaten in their first Premier League home games against Fulham between 1949 and 2018, which is winning 23 and drawing 4, winning each of their last 22 of this. Since then, they've lost their last 3 at home against the Cottagers. I remember last season on the opening day, they lost 1-0 to them. Fulham are unbeaten their last 5 Premier League games against Everton, winning 3 and drawing 2, keeping 4 clean sheets in the process. All of these 3 wins in that one have come at Goodison Park. Since losing their first 4 Premier League games this season, Everton unbeaten their last 4, winning, drew and drawing 2. Only once that they Toffees have gone 5 unbeaten on the short dice, doing so in April and May this year. Fulham have scored their first goal in each of their last 5 Premier League games, winning 2, drawing 1 and losing 2, although they have lost their last 2. Only 6 teams have lost 3 in a row after scoring first, most recently Sheffield United in April and May last season. And finally, Everton have kept 6 clean sheets in their last 7 Premier League games in October, winning 4, drawing 2 and losing 1. Including both games this season. Since the 2022/2023 season, the Toffees have arranged 0.5 points per game in August and in September, compared to 1.55 points per game in October, which is winning 5, drawing 2 and losing 4. So as you can see, the stats is working in both teams' favour. But listen, the last Saturday night football game was against Newcastle, and they drew, and they have so many, and I think they had the goal disallowed, and they had plenty of opportunities to win that game. So for this one, I think Everton are going to win. It ain't going to be an easy one because Everton don't to score lots of goals, but I feel like they will keep a clean sheet, and I feel like they will get the 3 points on this one. But for Fulham, looking at the table, they are in 10th place. So if they do win this game, then they will be on the same points as Chelsea and the West, depending on the other fixtures. So, but for me, looking at Everton, they need to win because if Crystal Palace get their first one of the season, and if Everton don't win, Crystal Palace, if Ipswich Town and Crystal Palace win their game, then Everton will be really close to the relegation zone. So they need to win this game. They really need to. And I think they will do. So I'm going to go for an Everton 1-0 win. Because like I said, it ain't going to be easy for Everton because Fulham can play really good football sometimes. But it's like Goodison Park. The atmosphere is going to be electric. And yeah, I think Everton will get the job done. So the only goal scorer for that game, I'm going to go for Dominic Calvert-Lewin to score. So yeah, I'm going to go for an Everton 1-0 win against Fulham for that game tomorrow. And then we move on into Sunday's game. So starting off with Chelsea versus Newcastle United. I'm not going to go about this too much because I will be doing a preview for that one tomorrow. So make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, in terms of this one, Chelsea needs to bounce back because we lost 2-1 against Fulham. So away to Liverpool. And we do need to win this game because, like I said, looking at the table, Chelsea right now are in 6th. And if Tottenham and Nottingham Forest win those games, and if Tottenham, Forest, and Newcastle win those games in game week number 9, then those teams will be above us. And the same goes, and if Fulham, Bournemouth, and Man United win those games as well, they'll be on the same points. And we could end up dropping further down below the table. So, listen, I think Chelsea will finish in the top 4. But the next 3 games, we need to win, And we have a good home record against Newcastle. So I think we'll win that game. But away to Old Trafford, it's a must-win. Because we don't go to Old Trafford and beat this poor Man United team, it's an absolute disgrace. It really is. So we need to win that game. And Arsenal at home at Stamford Bridge, we need to end that curse. Because last season, we were 2-0 up. But then Robert Sanchez, absolutely bottled it. Gave the ball to Declan Rice. And then Leandro Trossard scored to make it 2-2. So in the next 3 games, we need to win. It's a must-win. Because if we don't, then I don't see this team finishing the top 4. I really don't. So listen, it's a must-win game. That game is live on TV. Everyone in the UK will be watching that game. But I felt we're going to get this win. So I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. Excuse me. I'm going to go for a Chelsea 3-1 win because Newcastle have been not looking good over the last couple of games. They've lost at home against Brighton 1-0. They did create chances, for that one. So, but I feel like we're at home. We have a good record. We've only lost 1 game at Stamford Bridge, and that was against Man City. Yes, we did drop points against Crystal Palace and Forest, But listen, I just hope we can bounce back, and I think we will. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea win. The goal scorers, I'm going to go for Palmer to score a brace, Nicholas Jackson to score. The only Newcastle goal scorer in that one is Alexander Isak. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea. I'm not going to talk about this too much, but I'll leave that one for the preview tomorrow. So there we go. Right. The next one is of course, Crystal Palace versus Tottenham in a London derby. So here's some stats for this one. Crystal Palace have won just one of their last 18 Premier League games against Tottenham, drawing 2 and winning 5. And their last game was that 3-0 home win, which, by the way, Nuno Espirito Santo was the manager. And that 3-0 win was 3 years ago under Patrick Vieira. Spurs were top of the league. So there we go. Tottenham have won 19 of their 30 Premier League games against Crystal Palace, drawing 7 and losing 14. That's the highest win against any fellow London sides in the competition's history, which is 63%. Crystal Palace won 5 of their first 7 Premier League matches under Olivier Gallazia, drawing 1 and losing 1, scoring 22 goals. Since then, their winners in their last 4 at Selhurst Park, drawing 2 and losing 2, failing to score in 3. Tottenham have won 3 of their 4 Premier League matches, losing 1, as many as they have on the previous 11 games, winning 3, drawing 1 and losing 7. And lastly, with 3 points won, these Crystal Palace worst start to a top 5 campaign of their 8 matches, counting 3 points win, also 3 in 1981, 2014 and 2018. Meanwhile, it's the Meanwhile, it's only the second time they failed to win any of their first 8 in a top flight campaign after the 1993 season where they were relegated. So, listen, these stats really do work in Tottenham's favour. And I have to say, man, Tottenham have won their last London game was against West Ham, and they've won 4-1. And of course, like I said before last week, they were 1-0 down, but Ange Postecoglou did the right thing. He took off Maddison, brought on Sarr, and the game changed because West Ham in the second half were absolutely horrendous. So there we go. And listen, man, and like I said, if Tottenham win and Chelsea lose, Tottenham will be above us, you know. So I really hope here that Crystal Palace can do us a favour. Like, can you imagine if Crystal Palace get their first win of the season and that was against Tottenham Hotspur? Boy, that's why we call Tottenham Hotspur Spursy. That's why we call them that. So yeah, but listen, Crystal Palace aren't particularly doing well. Tottenham, they've lost 2 games this season, so they're in a really good position, and I think they're going to win this game comfortably. So for this game, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Tottenham win on this one because, like I said, Crystal Palace, no great start. The same goes for Wolves. Like, both managers did well last season, but this season, both of them were in a relegation zone. So I don't get why, though. I really don't get it. But yeah, 3-1 Tottenham. Crystal Palace goal scoring Mateta, Tottenham, Dominic Solanke, who else? Brennan Johnson and Heung-min Son to score. So yeah, 3-1 to Tottenham. Cannot see Crystal Palace beating Tottenham this time. So there we go. Right, the next one, we got West Ham United versus Manchester United. Of course, Man United beat Brentford 2-1. For West Ham, they got absolutely destroyed by Manchester United, by Tottenham Hotspur, sorry. So, yeah, let me read out this stat. So, West Ham have won their last 2 Premier League home games against Manchester United. Last win in Merseyside at home against the Red Devils in the league between 1974 and 1997 when they done it 4 times. Man United have lost 4 of their 8 Premier League meetings with West Ham at the London Stadium, winning 3 and drawing 1. More than they had 20 finishes to bowling ground in the competition, winning 8, drawing 9 and losing 3. West Ham have won their last 2 Premier League home games against Man United without conceding. They've never kept 3 consecutive home clean sheets against the Red Devils in the league history. So if they do that, they would have broken that record. Man United have only won 2 of their last 17 Premier League matches in London, drawing 5 and losing 10. Wow. With both of those games coming against Fulham, 2-1 in November 2022 and 1-0 in November 2023. So that's the only team they've beaten away from home in London. And finally, West Ham won their last league home game, beating Ipswich 4-1 at the start of the month. The last time they've won back-to-back home matches in the Premier League was December 2023, with the second of those victories coming against Man United at 2-0. So listen, despite Man United having a great stat, they don't particularly do well against West Ham, particularly at the London Stadium. So, listen, looking at the table, Man United, like I said, are in 12th place. If Man United win that game and Chelsea lose, they will be the same points. Whereas for West Ham, they need to win this game as well because they're on 8 points. Crystal Palace on 3. If West Ham lose against Man United and if Crystal Palace beat Tottenham, Crystal Palace will be only like 2 points behind West Ham. So West Ham need to win this game. I have to tell you this as well. If West Ham beat Man United, depending on the goal difference, they can either be above them or, because the same points, or just, in 13th place. So listen, as a Chelsea fan, I feel like I can see this. I can see West Ham winning this game, and I want them to win because I don't want Man United here to be on the same level points as Chelsea. I really don't, because So listen, I think this game is at the London Stadium. Of course, Chelsea have gone there and win. Man City gone there and win. And basically those teams here are in the top 6. But for Man United, they're in 12th place, despite them beating Brentford. So listen, my first one is that this could be a Man United win, but the fact that Man United of the last two visits haven't got a win there, I see this being like a West Ham win, and I want them to win. So West Ham, Hammers, please, whatever you do on Sunday, beat Man United, because I don't want them yet to be above us. I mean, to be on the same points as us, despite us losing against Newcastle. So for this game, I'm going to go for a West Ham win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 West Ham win, because I think Man United will score this time, but they're still poor. They really are. And let's not forget, Man United were 1-0 down, and they end up winning that game. But that game was at Old Trafford. This is at the London Stadium. And like I said, the only team that they've beaten at London, in the last 50 matches, was against Fulham. And that's basically it. So this is why I think, for me, why West Ham are going to win this game. And West Ham do need to be getting back into form, because they had that tailball result against Tottenham. Let's see what they can do. And it's at the London Stadium. So I think the atmosphere will be electric there. So I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. I'm going to go for not particularly like a shot by a tiny bit, because I don't want Man United to be on the same point as us. I really don't. So yeah, 2-1 West Ham. Man United goal scorer. I'm going to go for Højlund. West Ham goal scorers, I'm going to go for Mikel Antonio and Jared Bowen. Yes, of course, Kunders is missing, but it's still the London Stadium, so you could probably put, I'm not sure if you could put Jared Bowen as number 10 or something like that, but I hope Lopetegui, goes to the correct lineup and something like that. But it's just that my buddy is saying it's going to be a Man United win, but I don't think so. I'm going to go for 2-1 West Ham, because it's going to be a tight game, but I feel like West Ham will continue to beat Man United. Imagine they keep a clean sheet again. They would have broken their history at the London Stadium, but it's not going to happen. So yeah, 2-1 West Ham United is going to be my prediction. Then, last and not least, we've got the big one, the game of the weekend, the title race. It is first versus third. Liverpool are 4 points ahead of Arsenal. So, I have to say, Man City, if they win against Southampton, they will be begging for that game to be a draw, because if Man City beat Southampton and if Liverpool draw this game, Man City will be top of the league. So if you're a City fan, you'll be watching that game and thinking, I'm hoping that this will be a draw. But listen, one team has to win this game, because if Liverpool beat Arsenal, there will be 7 points clear, at the top. And the question is, it's early days, but will Arsenal's title hopes start to come down a bit? It's early days, but we should wait and see. Whereas, if Arsenal do beat Liverpool, they will be 1 point behind, and the title race will still be on in terms of those three. And also, Villa are in this conversation as well, because they're on the same point as Arsenal. So this title race could be heating up. Like, we could see a really good title race. So I'm looking forward to this game on Sunday, the big one. Liverpool going away at the Emirates Stadium. So there we go. So let me just quickly read out these stats, and then I'll tell you guys what my full prediction is. So here we go. Arsenal have won their last 2 Premier League home games against Liverpool. Have a longer such one between 2004 and 2006, when it did it 4 times. Liverpool haven't failed to score in any of their last 17 Premier League meetings with Arsenal since that 0-0 draw in August 2015, so 9 years ago. Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 4 Premier League games against Liverpool, winning 2, which is at the Emirates Stadium, and drawing 2, which is at Anfield, taking more points from these 4 games, 8, than they had in the previous 14 against the West, 7, winning 1, drawing 4, and losing 9. After losing to Bournemouth last time out, which was 2-0. Arsenal faced the prospect of losing back-to-back games in the Premier League for the first time since New Year's Eve, since that 2-0 defeat against West Ham and that 2-1 against Fulham, which was both London derbies. And that was the time, where Arsenal dropped points in those ones. And I remember I did a live chat with Charlene, and she looked absolutely disappointed on that one. Prior to their trip against Bournemouth, the Gunners have only lost one of their first Premier League games in 2024, winning one and drawing three. So you can tell that this is their only the first defeat, for Arsenal in 2024. So there you go. And that's away from home, by the way. That's away from home because they did lose to Aston Villa last season, but that was at the Emirates Stadium. This is their only first Premier League away defeat in 2024. So there we go. And lastly, if Liverpool win this game, it will be the second best ever start to a Premier League season after 9 games. 24 points, currently on 21. Indeed, the only other occasion in which they've won 24 or more points at this stage of the Premier League campaign was 2019-20 season when they last won the title, which is 25 points when they've won 8 and they've drawn 1. So listen, man. If Liverpool, like I say, if Liverpool do win this game, then I think they may have a chance of winning the Premier League. Of course, Man City still remain the favourites, but if Liverpool do win this game, then this title race could be on. And like I said, they've only lost one game, which was at home against Forest, but defensively, they're looking really good, And I have to tell you, I fear that Liverpool might end up winning the title, by winning the title, but potentially also breaking Chelsea's goal defensive record, because that record still stands, So listen, defensively, Liverpool are good. They're really good. Do I think Liverpool are going to break Chelsea's record? I don't think so, but they've only conceded 3 goals, so they need to concede 12 or more to not break that record. So listen, I'm feeling for Liverpool, but the Arsenal fans, it's not all of them, but like I said on live calling show on Abby and KG, big up to them. You man, some of you thought that you're gonna break Chelsea's defensive record. Well, guess what? You're 7 goals away, from equaling that record. So you man ain't beating Chelsea's record. Defensive record. So all of you hold that, hold that. Don't ever think you're going to be doing that again, because winning the league and conceding 15 goals is very difficult. And let's not forget, we had 25 clean sheets that time. 25. So you man ain't beating Chelsea's defensive record. It's only Liverpool I fear. Only Liverpool. But Arsenal, you're not doing it. So hold that. Hold that. It's not all of you, but some of you need to hold that. Some of you need to hold that, because you're being delusional if you ever think that you're going to break Chelsea's defensive record. It's still going to stand. It's only Liverpool I fear, but I don't think they're going to break Chelsea's defensive record. If they do, then well done. Well done to Liverpool. But I don't think they'll do it. But Arsenal fans, just slow down. Hold that. There we go. But listen, in terms of this game, I'm hearing that Saka will be available for this game. If he is, then I think Arsenal are going to win this game. But if not, I think Liverpool are going to edge it. So for me, it just all depends, if Saka is there or not. Because listen, the only thing I will say is that there is no William Saliba, there is no Odegaard still, there's still no Rice. There is Rice, there's still no Saka, there's still no Moreno. They still got, so many, injuries and suspension, which is Saliba. So will Mikel Arteta go for 4 centre backs, 3 DMs like he did before, or will he just change it up? We're gonna have to wait and see. But in terms of the favourites for this one, I'm gonna go for Liverpool, because the only injury they've got is Diogo Jota, and if Diogo Jota didn't get injured, I believe Liverpool have got a higher chance, because Jota lost going against Arsenal, particularly at the Emirates Stadium. But we'll wait and see. But I think Liverpool are still the favourites. But it's going to be a tight one, because at the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal haven't lost there so far this season. The only loss is against Aston Villa. That was last season. That's basically it. So It's so difficult, man. It really is. But and listen, if Chelsea beat Newcastle and if Liverpool beat Arsenal, we'll be above them. So there we go. So Liverpool, you may have beaten us, but I want you to beat Arsenal, because imagine if we beat Newcastle and we end up above them. And if this, and the same goes for Villa. If Villa beat Bournemouth, which they will do, and if Arsenal drop points, then boy, will Arsenal be from title ways to top four ways? We'll have to wait and see. But it's so difficult, man. It really is. But the fact that this is at the Emirates Stadium, I think Arsenal going to win this game. It's going to be a tight one for me. If this goes at Anfield, then I'm going to go for Liverpool win. But this game is at the Emirates Stadium, so it's so difficult. But I think Arsenal going to win this. So both teams are definitely going to concede, but I think Arsenal going to win this game 2-1 because it's at the Emirates Stadium. Like, the atmosphere is going to be there, and also need to bounce back after that 2-0 defeat against Bournemouth. So I think Arsenal going to edge it just a little bit. So I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. The goal scorers for that one, I'm going to go for Declan Rice and Havertz to score. For Liverpool, I'm going to go for Mo Salah, because Mo Salah always does well against the big team. So there we go. So I am going to go for 2-1 Arsenal win, just about. So there we go. Alright guys, so that is all my Premier predictions. Let me go for them one more time. So on my birthday, East Midlands Derby, I've gone for Desmond Tutu draw between Leicester and Forest. Then Saturday's games, I've gone for Villa 3-1 win against Bournemouth, Brentford to beat Ipswich Town 2-0. Then I've gone for Brighton 3-1 win against Wolves, Man City to destroy Southampton 4-1. Then Everton to slightly beat Fulham and keep another clean sheet at Goodison Park. Then Super Sunday, I've gone for Chelsea 3-1 win against Newcastle. Then Tom 3-1 win against Palace. Then West Ham 2-1 win against Man United. And finally the big one, Arsenal to beat Liverpool by 2-1 in the game of the weekend, the big one. I'm looking forward to that one. So that is all my Premier predictions for game week number, I believe it's 9. Let me just have a look. I believe it's game week 9. Yeah, it's game week 9. So that is all my Premier predictions for game week 9. So there you go, guys. So that is my predictions. Let me know what's your predictions for all of those games. Let me know in the comments down below. So yeah, man, like I said, it's great that I'm doing these predictions on my birthday. There's a game for the East Midlands Derby, like I said, and also the Lionesses are also playing on my birthday today. So good luck to them, and hopefully they can win. So yeah, all I've got to say is that thank you so much all of you that sent me birthday messages. And if you can continue to, write my birthday messages on YouTube, on our social media, then you can, make sure you guys follow me on TikTok, on Snapchat, and on Instagram, and all that stuff. And also follow me on Twitter as well. So there we go. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to, if you're new, hit the subscribe button below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, especially if you can on my birthday. Make sure you share and comment and hit the notifications so they never ever miss on my YouTube content. So there we go. So once again, guys, thank you so much for the birthday messages. And if you ask me how my birthday is so far, it's doing really good. Eating the cakes, celebrating with my family, and all that stuff. And we're gonna go somewhere nice as well. So there we go. So my birthday is doing good. And my prayer to you guys is that as you celebrate your birthday, you will not die but live. You'll be on this planet for a very long time. More than 100 years. And also, you'll see many more years to come in Jesus' name. So that's my prayer to you, just like how my family prayed earlier today. So there we go. So guys, looking forward to my birthday weekend. Let's hope Chelsea can bounce back and we'll take it from there. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And as always, up the Chelsea. I'm out of here. Peace.
Audio